for one, am terrified that for some reason I don't have my security blanket. I am running the board and the show today. I am in control. I am above the law. Hi,
100%.
everybody.
You are the law.
I am, as always.
This is
So,
a Carpets and Coffee first. This
yeah.
duo right here.
Yeah, first off, number one, there's no coffee today. I don't know what none. I don't know what you're drinking, but it's not a coffee. So there you go. So what is that?
I am drinking
Seaweed?
jasmine green tea. So it like is the kind that comes in the little pearls where it's like the tea leaves all rolled up into a circle, and then when you pour the hot water on it, it unfolds into the leaves. It's
I don't
delicious.
even know what you're saying.
Like, well,
it's
I am Chinese.
I don't.
So
this makes no sense. I'm gonna
ancient
go ahead
Chinese
and mute.
secret.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute the conversation over there where Eric's probably yelling at me for being incompetent. So
he said all good.
Yeah,
We're good.
Yeah. Just have to get everything done.
So for all the folks out there, Eric is under the weather, not able to join us today.
Yeah, we missed NPR for like the first time in a while.
Yeah. He's been going through it. So everybody keep Eric in your thoughts.
Well, we missed last Carpets and Coffee because he's like, I can't do it, and then he sprung it on us. And I like to give
and we would have done it without him,
to give the intern, love to get the intern shit about being useless, but then he's like, I can't do it. And I'm like, cool. What do I do? And then it was we tried to get it all together, and then it fell apart tremendously.
Yes,
and we didn't have any Carpets and Coffee.
None of us could log into the master account to actually launch the session.
And these are logins that Eric has given me 10 million times.
Yeah, but now we live in an era where cybersecurity is so insane.
Oh my god!
Even when we had the login, we still couldn't get in
sending
for 5
codes
minutes
to Eric's email, and I don't know where he is.
He's on death's door somewhere.
Exactly. No. So I had to call him, which Eric and I never talk over the phone.
Could he even speak? Was he like?
Well, he's like, what's up? I'm like, I know I've already fucked it up. Will you please come save us? Yeah. I'm like, thank you. And then you're like, I found the login. I'm like, I'm gonna beat Lucas within an inch of his life.
Well, in all fairness, it didn't help.
No, but if it had worked, if that had just been the only thing I needed, God, you were in trouble.
I asked him to send me the login in July because only with that login do you get all the fancy controls that people use.
I have all the buttons. I've never seen these buttons.
The ones that people use to make me disappear.
Yeah, they haven't allowed me to use these buttons. Like,
I like that better.
Okay, all right.
That's a good view.
That's enough. I don't want to do anything else.
So I tried to log in to have those controls because we were going to stage a coup, and I would have the power to disappear you, but I couldn't get the code. So
listen, and you know what? He's like, oh, I forgot the codes. That's because he knows deep down he can't let you have a coup against me. I mean, what the hell?
There has to be order somewhere in this kingdom.
There does. I am an agent of chaos, so there has to be order. But here we are. So Eric's sick as a dog.
Happy Friday.
I spent all yesterday packing because I am on a plane as of 8:30 Sunday morning to go to Arizona. So
that's exciting. Coming out west, going to be closer to me than you have been in a long time.
I've been to California.
Recently?
I mean, it's a horrible state. I really just kind of go through it. So it was on my way to Australia. And I will say that the scariest time I've ever had at an airport.
Was it LAX?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a terrifying place.
Not a great airport.
At LAX, apparently, where we thought Rob and Keith were going to be landing was at a different terminal in the airport. And Philly had buses and trams that can kind of take you from one part of the terminal to the other, and whatever. So Eric and I get on this bus that then drives on the tarmac, and there are airplanes driving on the. It was very terrifying.
See, whenever
there, and to find out that Keith and Rob were not at that one, so that we had to get back on the bus, and it was insane.
Whenever I'm flying to or from Southern California, I never do LAX. I always fly into Burbank. Bob Hope Airport, which is like, it's a little bit outside the city. It's a really tiny airport. It's like so small that when you get off the plane, they don't have the tube to get you back inside the building. You actually get to go downstairs and walk outside on the
Yeah.
runway.
Yeah. So,
But
which is weird because that's normally how I do. The airport closest to me is Lehigh, and it does small little like puddle jumpers to
okay,
get to, it gets you to Florida, but it doesn't get you to Miami or it gets you to smaller airports. So
right.
that's usually what I do. This time I'm actually going down to Philly and flying out,
Okay,
which I haven't done in a while. The only good thing is that the train that will take you directly to Philadelphia Airport stops literally a block away from my mother's house. So I'm just going to park my car there.
mommy.
Yeah, exactly. Jump on the train. My stepfather might get my oil changed for me while I'm gone. So yeah, it's fine.
Gotta love it. Gotta
Oh, yeah.
love it.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
well, that's awesome. Where are you touching down in Arizona? Are you going into Scottsdale or?
I got to fly into Dallas, and then I have a little bit of a layover in Dallas, and then I'm going to Tucson. Is where we're
Tucson.
flying into. Yep.
Nice.
So flying into Tucson, and then I have no idea where we're going to be because a couple people have asked, like, where are you going in Arizona? I don't know. The state.
Yeah.
Just-
Where the snakes are.
Listen,
I don't know.
I follow Rob Stone. I know nothing, and
Yeah.
partially I think that's a good thing. I don't. There's less I can muck up if I don't know. Yeah. And get in the car. Okay.
I spent a little bit of time in Tucson at the end of 2019. We had a few days off there on tour, and we got an Airbnb, and I was looking around for herps because I think it was like mid-September, so it wasn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a similar time of year to now, but
Right.
all I found were really cool little lizards. I forget what they were, and a scorpion. I didn't find any snakes, but I didn't really like get out there either. I was kind of just around the neighborhood,
That's the good thing about Rob is that we usually go to a place where you might find it, and then we end up going to a place where you're definitely going to fucking find it. And then of course road cruising, anything could happen.
Oh yeah.
So
and there's cactuses everywhere.
Oh yeah. So. And so Keith McPeak's coming with us. We're meeting Justin Julander out there. So, and I think there's a couple other people involved. I have no idea. Again, I don't know.
Excellent.
So it looks like it's going to be a fun trip. I'm excited to do, because I don't come back till Sunday night. I end up landing in Philadelphia around midnight Sunday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's a week.
Yeah, I mean it's a full week of it. So, and I imagine, and we arrive at like noon, and that's just so we can get settled because then we're gonna go start looking for shit. So it's like hit the ground, go. So hopefully we have a good outing. I'm definitely excited to go.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? Is this first herping trip back or no?
I mean, we went herping a little bit with Rob when he came up.
You did Texas too, right?
I did not do Texas. I was not able to go.
Yeah,
sent the NPR body, the person, the representative was Eric on that one. I will be representing NPR on this one to, probably Eric's great shame. So
well, that's awesome. No, that sounds like a great time. I'm excited to hear how it goes.
It'll be fun because that's the other thing is we have to do this show and then I have to go, and Eric might be still alive. If not, there's going to be a box on his front doorstep that I have to get tonight that has his GoPro in it, because I'm just going to have the GoPro attached because you want video. Apparently audio isn't enough for you. So
me personally?
Yes, you personally.
Yeah, sure. I'm just trying to help, it's like, let me get the good content out there for the network.
Yeah. I'd say you were ridiculous, but then apparently the video you put up of unboxing is like the most popular video we've ever put out there.
Aha!
Yeah.
Thank you for that, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
There you go. Plug everything
to legitimize my purpose.
Mm-hmm. So
if you can find one thing, what would make your trip?
I want sidewinders. I want all the rattlesnakes.
That's 2 things, 3 things.
It's lots of things. Like I want all the rattlesnakes. Most of wants like a horned lizard. She's like, find a nice, cute horned lizard. I'm like, all right, yeah, they're cool, but she's like, I want one. I'm like, no, no, it doesn't fit with anything. So yeah, I want the rattlesnakes. Just because there's something. There's so many out there, like sidewinders, tigers. There's a ton. So
for sure.
I would be all for that.
No touching.
Rob says no
Owen.
touching. No, you're not supposed to touch that one.
Don't put your hand in the rocks.
That was the weirdest thing about Australia, is that you had to you stutter stepped, because you know what you're looking at when you're looking at it in the US, but in Australia you're like,
Right.
It's either a colubrid or it's an elapid. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to be wrong.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Very nice.
But no, dude, I'll get psyched out over any of the animals. That, I mean, we were enjoying in Texas that I guess it was breeding season for the tarantula. So like they were like, males were just walking all over the place, like across the street. And you could think, like, if I'm driving a car, I'm not gonna notice a train. They're big spiders. You know what the hell is that thing walking across the road? Like, because you've never seen it before. I bet you if you grew up your entire life in Texas, you're like, whatever. But like, I'm just like, it's moving. Yeah.
And for me, like, it sets off every red flag in my monkey brain of terror. So I remember the first time I saw a tarantula at UC Santa Cruz is smushed like on the path from the parking lot to campus, and I freaked out. I sprinted away.
We're not
it was
okay
dead,
with
but
spiders.
No,
and
I'm trying really hard, like at work, because I have to like answer questions about them and ship them, because I'm in charge of shipping a few days a week now. So I had to do it. I had to ship an OBT again last Tuesday, because I guess those are popular for some reason, even though they're just orange demonic bugs.
I mean, but
but I don't know. All I've held is the striped knee that Riley told me was a weird choice to hold.
I did hold the Goliath bird eater after it molted at the zoo, which was a very big. Don't do what I do, okay, kids?
Yeah, that's a no choice.
Yeah, that's a very bad idea. But we had an Indian ornamental, which is very not fun spider.
The ornamentals are typically nasty bitey things, right?
Yes. Good, thank you. That's my proper title.
Good afternoon, glorious leader.
That's what it says on my desk.
Also, Lucas.
but they have the front mandibles or whatever, the legs or whatever. They have orange, and that's their threat displays. They stick them up.
Okay.
So the Indian ornamental we always had all the list of what dangerous animals they are and all that fun stuff. So because we always had all the animals that were venomous, we always had the training. So the Indian ornamental was always one of them. So it molted. So what I did is I took its full container, because we had multiple little containers that they lived in, and I hid it. And then I took another container and I made it look like it had fallen over and like broken and opened and something like that. And then at the person who was in charge of like inbound receiving and stuff like that, I hid the molt up high, so the only thing that was showing was its two little things. So then I walked around the entire day before showing people that the Indian ornamental had just molted, and doesn't it look cool, and look at the little orange things. And then the next day I just went about work, and then about halfway through the day I heard a bunch of screaming. So then I knew that I had
it was successful.
Pretty much.
See, that's cruel. If I was working, I would have left. I would have.
Well, that's the thing. So the manager was on the phone and came around the corner, and she's gesturing, and she's like, yeah, okay, come on. She's like doing like gestures like, you come with me. Come, there's something you need to see. And then I played it up that I was going to go up there and like shoo it into a box, and then I just threw the molt and it kind of drifted down like a leaf. Then I ran, because I had to run, because it was a lot of people were mad at me for a while for that.
I believe that's pretty good though.
I know, I like it.
Well, actually there was a loose tarantula at work a couple weeks ago. Also, I just forgot to, before I forget again, we said Eric's sick. Also, Riley's out of town, so can't forget. That's why Riley's not here.
Oh, right. Yeah. We have that other one. Right.
Yeah. The other one too.
To be honest, I thought you were Riley.
Oh, no. Different.
Very
person.
Different. Very different.
More like Eric.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
no hair.
No hair. Yeah. Baby
face. Anyway. Guitar. So I was like getting crickets, and there was a little girl, and she was just like, there's a tarantula on the floor. I was like, no. But it was like a little rose hair just kind of sliding around. So
all right,
that was fun. It's never a dull moment. How is your snake stuff at your house? I heard you opened the door for your Timors.
I did. I
to
did
their
to see what
tube.
they. I opened the tube for the Timor pythons to see what they would do. I can happily announce that after a week, nothing has fucking happened. So it's,
So it
but
must
that I
like what are you thinking?
expected
It's just
this.
not time, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
listen, you're telling me that because the tube is 4.5 inches wide, like big, like whatever. That's how big it is. So my male Timor python is thinner than my female, but even if he had eaten like a gopher, he can get through that tube no problem. And so can she. So right now they're doing exactly what I expected them to do, ignoring each other. They have food and water on their side. They don't give a damn. But I'm hoping that once she cycles, he's going to be like, there's a female around here somewhere. I know they can smell each other and I know everything with that. So we'll see how it
Right.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine that she will let him know, right? So obviously that's the point. That's why you're doing
Mhm.
this. So maybe it's just she isn't giving off those chemical cues yet, or
Right.
like have you observed with them in the past, like have they locked up at all and just not laid, or are
I
you
don't
looking for
know.
first signs still?
I mean, they've cuddled a bunch and they've been in
Mhm.
the same places and they haven't really bugged each other. But there is all of a sudden that certain point where I go to start feeding and they're all revved up.
Right.
So I just kind of have to see how it goes. So I'm
For
kind of
sure.
hoping that they get it kind of handled that way, but we'll have
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, for sure. What's the weather like over there?
It's getting a little colder, but it's not getting absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
Uh, I want to say it's still close to the 70s, but then it gets to probably
Mm.
about down to the 40s or something at nighttime. But then it varies because sometimes, like we had some days down to the 20s last week, and then this week has been nothing.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
This is the first week of like a proper Bay Area chill here. Like
Hmm.
it definitely feels like the season flipped, which is interesting. It's a little bit early. Usually it's still really hot here in October, that Indian summer kind of thing, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I would much rather it cool down. So
Yeah. We're still mid 70s and high 60s during the day. And then like next week, we're going to get close to like 82.
oh, okay.
So but like the nighttime is getting down into the 50s.
Okay.
So we're still insanely early. I don't know. I was just kind of seeing how it goes because my female refused food, but I don't know if she was just doing that just for reasons. So
Interesting.
I don't know. I'll give them.
Yeah,
It's open. They're doing exactly what I thought they were going to do, and then we'll see how it goes.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Very good. Well, I have those jungles that are locking up for no
Right.
reason.
Right. Those are the brand new jungles that like. Didn't they just break quarantine, or are they still in
They're still in
quarantine?
quarantine.
Right.
Now that this is like the snake room or whatever, I put
Hmm.
them in the room that I sleep in a cage. So
Right.
they're quarantining in style, and they're getting it on, even though I haven't cooled or anything, and that's kind of interesting.
So the plan for them is that you're going to keep doing what you're doing, and
Yeah.
then start cooling when it gets to that point.
Yes, I'm planning on feeding a couple more times,
Hmm.
and then all I've bred is Brettles, so I'm gonna have to relearn how to do. Well, not relearn, but learn for the first time how to do normal carpets, winter
Right.
breeding carpets. So Eric was telling me to follow the holidays, like you guys always talk about,
Yeah.
and do a cool down.
It's just easier for you, just so you know when to do certain things.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if breadlie are the harder ones, so
Mhm.
you have to just drop them down. You drop them the same way you drop breadlie, but then
Right. But just to
stop.
like 70 or
Yeah, like
something, right?
stop
Yeah.
at 70. Don't keep going down to 50.
Right.
And if they're already breeding, you might not really have to do anything. You might
Yeah.
just have to, you know, separate them a little bit and then warm them up a little bit, especially the girl if she swells
Mhm.
up. If not, just keep doing what you're doing because I've gotten locks before in the very beginning of a season, but then no eggs from an animal that year.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it just depends if they're together when she's ovulating, when the time's right. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. It would be cool.
mhm.
They are
They're
obviously they're
nice
the
jungles.
highlighter thing, so they're
Yeah.
not quote pure, and that's okay. They're still beautiful. And yeah, yeah,
So
I'm
they're
excited.
highlighter jungles. So we're not
Yes.
100% that they are. Where's the mix come in?
So it sounds like it's a bit of a mystery.
Is it just question marks on them?
It's a question mark on one specific animal. Nick was explaining it to me, but I don't remember the exact specifics. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, it was very clearly like some sort of tully that got paired with a question mark that was like probably a diamond jungle because they've got those like rosettes like coming in a little bit. So
Okay.
I think that's the theory, but I think everybody kind of agrees to just not know in that specific case. But you know, they've been line bred for really nice black and yellow, and as far
Yeah,
as
that's what they'll do.
what people want for jungles is really nice black and yellow, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
It's
gonna pick a
quotes
side,
jungle, you know.
right, right. If you're gonna pick a side project, a black and yellow jungle is really not the worst way to go.
Yeah,
Especially because everybody, even people who aren't necessarily interested in carpets, can appreciate a black and yellow jungle. So,
certainly.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, I obviously have a lot of other projects where I prioritize purity, so it's not the end of the
really,
world for me
you
to have
really,
not the end of the world for me to have one thing that's more so about just ooh
yeah,
pretty, you know.
yeah. And then, so that's what you got going on. That's what I got going on.
Yeah, I
What
got
the
a
rest?
lizard.
You got a lizard? Oh,
You
you
want
got the Aki
you want to see my
still.
lizard?
This sounds like a trap somehow. um,
No trap. Entertain the
okay.
people. I'll be right
All right.
back.
What do you, like get at and he's gone. That is what the hell. Um Lizard people. You ask if they want to see the lizard and then they're just gone. But it that quickly? How big is that lizard? That's not your Aki.
I got a lizard.
That's not your Aki, is it?
It's my second Aki.
Another one. Listen, that's a
So
big Aki.
yeah, this
Jesus.
is like a 2-year-old male that
Yeah.
my good friend and manager at the vivarium gave me to take care of here at my place. We're kind of gonna do a little bit of Aki stuff together. So it's still technically his lizard, but it'll live here for the rest of its life. And yeah, he's super freaking chill. I love this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I guess you and Eric are just so gone now into the dwarf monitors things. It's ridiculous.
Look, he just chills.
Yeah.
I write essays with him on my shoulder.
That's good. You have lots of homework, and now you have a homework friend.
A little homework friend.
Yeah.
Yep. He loves pinkies, but I can't give them to him too often because then he'll be chunky.
Yep. So that's how Ackies get fat.
Yep.
You know?
But he really likes those. He doesn't like roaches or mealworms. Crickets, okay.
Oh
But
crap!
we're working on it.
So you're gonna be doing crickets for the rest of your life.
At the moment, I gave him a bunch of king mealworms, and it's kind of like either you eat them or you don't eat.
Or you starve. Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
so he's picked off a few. He'll figure
All
it
right.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like he doesn't look hard. Like he doesn't look like he needs food. Like that's
No,
he
he's
looks
doing
healthy.
good.
So all
Yeah.
right.
And I had a really fun time like setting up the enclosure. It's definitely the most involved enclosure that I've created with like the foam background, and we carved it up, and then I used like a pond sealant as the treatment, I guess, to the foam, which like it worked. It's kind of nice because it has some texture to it. It's waterproof, but it's also not hard. Like it's kind of rubbery. So I feel like for a large monitor, it wouldn't work. I think they would just tear it to shreds. But
yeah, I have the you know those what is it, cages by design cages where they have those fake rocks that were shelves. I got some of them from a friend of mine that had lizards, and they carved up those foam rocks.
right.
Like, and that's
Yeah.
just because they had long nails and stuff like that. So I had to reseal everything. But once they
Yeah.
resealed, the rough scales like them, the rhinos like them, everybody uses them as a nice thing. So all right, that's gonna be a thing now. So
Yeah.
so that's what you got going on.
That's
is you
what I
got
got going on.
Aki.
Got the Aki. It's really fun. I also like it was also an assignment for Zach Loafman's class, which was like the vivarium build assignment. So I kind of did double dipping. I had to like write a bunch about the choices I was making with the enclosure and how they were
Okay.
supported by natural history, like why I was doing certain lighting, and essentially write a care manual for the class, which forced me to actually like know more about Akis rather than
That's
just
cool.
getting them. So it was a lot of fun. It was cool. It's always fun to nerd out about a new species and, deep dive. I found a magazine article written by Justin Julander from I think the 90s at work on Ackies that I took. Sent him a picture. He's like, that takes me back.
Was it in a reptiles magazine or was it just okay?
I've got it right here.
All right. You're bad at this. You're very bad at staying in front of your microphone.
Sorry.
It's a Vivarium magazine. Even further back. Jesus.
Yeah. So keeping the ridge-tailed monitor. So I snagged this. There's a bunch of old magazines at the shop right now that I think they just found a box of. But
to be honest, people at reptile shows always have those big boxes of reptiles magazines that they're trying to get rid of, and they'll sell them for $10 for the whole box or something crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where most of mine came from. Is I had a friend of mine he's like, do you just want these? And I'm like, sure. And I just have them all.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus. Yep. Go get the lizard. Yeah.
Peter Kuhn, Justin Julander, Jeff Lem, 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and the little baby one is doing well.
Small one.
Yeah, the small one's in the living room. It's very shy still. I don't see it too much. When it sees me, it runs away. But it's doubled in size in a couple weeks, so it's definitely doing what it's supposed to do. And yeah.
And any idea what the sex is on your little guy, or is that just not sure yet?
Don't know. I think you can't really know for a few months. I think they have to be a little older. But my buddy that passed this guy on to me also has a female that he's going to send over here for breeding when the time comes. So it'll be a little Ackie project. We'll split the babies and
cool.
Yeah. Very fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So you got that. You want to throw him back in the way? I guess we'll. Everybody else who's not.
Sorry.
Yup.
Go Live chuck TV.
Him back. Go chuck him back in a cage. So
okay, I'll be right back.
Who's not, me going to Arizona or everybody else. A lot of you guys are actually headed out to Tinley Park, so that is something else that's happening this weekend. And I'm already getting reports of what's at Tinley, who's at Tinley, and all that fun stuff. So, Lucas, you know anybody going to the show this weekend?
I didn't even know it was this weekend.
You're plugged in so well. So,
Tinley Park. Cool.
Tinley Park is this weekend. So,
I know that in Illinois?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, this has been the first Tinley since the whole pandemic thing. Because everything did get shut down right before the March Tinley Park.
Okay.
And then we skipped October. And then I think they did something where they had a show out in St. Louis. Probably not any ball pythons at that show, Brett. I'm sorry. There probably will be very few and far between. Them and leopard geckos. Probably won't find them. So
probably not. No Cresties.
Sorry.
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
Nope. So
I don't know anybody that's going. Do you know any folks?
Several people. I have so many people looking out for things for me that if they're all paying, exactly. If they all start paying attention, they'll all be texting me and they'll say, "I saw this," and I'll be like, "Good. All of you saw it. Good job." So, yeah. So I'm a little upset that I didn't get to go because I always had a good time in Tinley, but. There's no way I could have swung Tinley and then Arizona. I'd be missing out, and I'd much rather just do.
It'd be quite
Arizona.
a whirlwind.
Tinley would be next time, I guess. But...
Plus, if you found anything you wanted at the show, you'd have to ship it to yourself before you went on to Arizona. So it'd be a whole thing.
Yeah, and that's already the only reason. I got friends that are going out there who will just take it home with them and then set up shipping to me later.
There you go.
Yeah, I never liked the whole. The one time I did go out to Tinley and I flew, I didn't end up buying anything because I was like, I don't really want to buy it and have it shipped back home to me. So I had somebody else bring stuff back home for me.
Nice.
But yeah.
What's on the list that you can share?
Angolan python.
Nice.
Weird, right?
Hey, they're cool. They're really cool.
Well, So I'm looking at those. Obviously, more rhinos, more Asian colubrids. And then I bet you if I was there and I saw a super caramel tiger, I'd probably be all about that thing too. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. it's hard when you already have projects. Like I need a male ring python.
Right.
So
That's the
if
one that I've been hearing about for a little while for me.
right, because that's the thing. There are several things that like, yeah, I'll break the bank for it if it shows up. But then
Mhm.
there are other things where I'm like, if it's there and the time is right, yeah. If I'm flush with snake money, totally. Or will
Right.
they trade for olive pythons? Got those, but no. So
For
yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's where we're
Well,
at right now.
very cool. Speaking of things that you'd be willing to break the bank for,
Mm.
I'm trying to do a thing,
Mhm.
and I'm excited about that thing
Mhm.
where I'm trying to sell a bunch of stuff.
Well, you want to sell me your roughies?
You want a roughie?
I want all your roughies. How
I
many you
only
got?
have
One?
one.
I don't want it. I don't
She's
know. Wait,
beautiful.
that's not true. I do. That's not true. I do.
That wasn't quite what I had
Oh, I'm
planned, but
sorry.
maybe we talk about it. I
It's
did
always, yeah.
offer it to you as a friend gift after years
Then
past.
I will take it now.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, we'll
no,
talk. We'll talk.
box it up and with other things. I don't know what else you
But
got.
yeah, folks have probably seen I'm selling the baby blackhead that I
Yeah.
was able to produce with Riley and Grant last year. So that hurts. It makes my heart sad, but I gotta do it. It's all going towards
Other
something that's
things.
going to be very worth it.
Mm.
And I just wanna tickle and tease everybody's interest. I'm not gonna give it away.
Don't do that.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Younger Owen was a fool
Yeah.
and mentioned
I
that he
mean,
found a Duns python on the show, and somebody literally went and bought it
oh
before I could get it in my head what I had found.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I also, things might not work out. You never know.
hmm
So until they're actually here, I don't want to
of
spill the
course,
beans. But that is, if anybody's been looking at my stuff and they're like, "Why the heck is he selling his stuff?
that's
Is
why.
he getting out of it? Is he broken?" No.
Well,
I'm
you
well.
also now are just getting with the you're just starting to sell your breadlie babies. So
Yeah,
how much fun of an experience has that been?
it's been good so far.
Oh, you poor
I
fool. They haven't
I don't
gotten
know.
to you yet.
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess the truth of it is I'm very used to dealing with the public. I've been working in retail like my whole life. And I don't know, I feel like I have a pretty good tolerance for people.
Mhm.
But that being said, so far the folks that have reached out and bought babies have been excellent.
Right.
I shipped out the first one on Tuesday to a dude over in your spot, actually, over in Pennsylvania. So um, that was exciting. And yeah, there's a few that will be leaving here over the next couple weeks, and there's a whole crap ton more that need to. So please, somebody buy Prettles.
Yeah. I mean, breadlie are one of those ones that like they do. I burn out all my normal males before anything morph related goes.
Oh,
Just
sure.
just because people really like having a big red snake that is really kind of chill.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I've definitely gotten a lot of interest in the normals. I had some interest specifically in visual stripes with no
Mhm.
hypo going on, which was cool. Because I had a few of those. And I actually I convinced a couple coworkers at the vivarium to go in together on a pair of the 50% hypo possible head stripes. So
Nice.
I'll know where those live, which is always fun.
I will say I'm getting the calendar competition photos together,
Yeah.
and I will say this is the most I have ever seen anybody enter in the bread light category.
Hmm.
They had more entries than the green tree python category,
Wow.
which is weird.
Wow. Yeah. See, I just didn't even want to touch it after last year's heartbreak.
Unfortunately for you, you entered your one female that was in the egg
Oh
box.
yeah, I did do that. I forgot
Buddy,
about
I'm
that.
so sorry.
Yeah, no,
It was
I wouldn't have picked me either.
in
See,
the first round of chopping
no,
just because
yeah.
that's
I mean, come on. I saw the pictures that Nick posted.
Dear
Are you
God.
kidding me?
Like,
It's fine. What I'm upset about is last year. And
yeah,
we know this. I'm
yeah.
never going to let it go. You
No,
voted for me. My beef is
I
not with
did.
you.
No, it's that other one. Yeah,
It's that other guy.
yeah,
And
that guy.
yeah,
I
it
have to
got me in
I have to
trouble.
print out a picture of him to glue to a popsicle stick so I can take it in Arizona and like stick it places. So yeah.
Just like put it on a cactus.
Yeah,
But a short cactus.
a very small cactus. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, I got 2 stonewash that I'm looking to move. I don't think I'm gonna keep anything except some of the double visual hypostripes.
okay.
Yeah, I don't need to.
I just have normals and then stonewash. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm happy with my two little things that I'm playing with. So that's it.
Nice.
But yep. Uh,
Yeah.
so what do we think about Brazilian rainbows morphs? I don't have any.
Morph specifically, Riley would probably have a lot to say
Yeah,
on
wrong
this.
guy.
And I
Um,
know what he would say. He would say they don't need morphs. They're beautiful
but
without them.
everything's cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
I have a pair of ones that were produced by Riley. I like them. They're cool.
Right.
I'm not an insane boa guy, so I
Yeah.
bet you other people would be totally enamored with them. They're fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise them up and breed them because that's cool. And
Right.
so far, they've been a little bit better than the Dominican red mountain boas that I had. But as far as morphs, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're cool.
I don't feel a strong interest in the Brazilian morphs.
There's not a Brazilian morph that I'm just like, oh my god, I must have. But that's
Mhm.
I'm not a Brazilian
I think they're
rainbow
just a
boa
very
guy.
unique case too, where
Yeah.
like just the wild type is so unique on its
Mm.
own, and like so beautiful.
I
Obviously, they are popular because of their natural beauty, not because they're like the coolest
I want to
natural
say that
history wise or
I want to say that
personality wise.
the morphs that are cool with them are the ones that don't they change the pattern but don't
Mhm.
kill the color.
Right.
Like the leucistic one, I'm like, it's just it's white. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool looking. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
it's cool looking. But I'm like,
Everything's cool.
the worst thing is nobody ever tells you when you get an albino or a white snake, thing's gonna look dirty all the fucking time because it's gonna smear its shit all over itself and things like that, and it's gonna be cool. Thanks, guy.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
yeah,
And you don't want to stress it out and bathe it all the time.
right.
Maybe
That's
occasionally, but yeah.
and that's why I never really understood albino like monitors because if you're
Mm,
keeping it correctly, it will be covered in dirt all the fucking time.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah, that's
whatever,
a good point. Yeah,
whatever.
I do think that Brazilians are cool, just in terms of the species. I don't really want to work with them, but we have a litter at the vivarium right now, and just all my interactions with them have been, you know, good. They're bitey right out of
Mm.
the egg. They're vicious, but
I,
that's
I'm
okay.
I kind of find myself enjoying more. Like I was talking to somebody about 100 flowers rat snakes,
Hmm.
and they're like, "I'll hook you up with a pair of patternless." I'm like, I don't want them. Like I don't want patternless. I want to see the snake. Like if you want to give me
Yeah,
a pair of het patternless, maybe I'll consider that because then I can
right.
do that. But no, I want the normals. I want the what I see. So ooh,
Absolutely. I
shit.
mean, if you're going to go into something that's not like a super mainstream species, something that's a little bit more obscure, why
Yeah,
would you want something
a
like
morph thing. I
a
mean,
more
I understand some people do, but like
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting to the point now where like I have Chinese king rats
Mhm.
and I have them that they are both het hypo.
Okay.
So the animals I have look like Chinese king rats.
Right.
But if I breed them, I could get some hypo babies.
That's
Cool.
fair.
But
Yeah.
I don't like, and the funny thing is that when you see Chinese king rats when they're born, they're like creamy colored. And
Mhm.
then they slowly turn black and yellow. And I kind of almost feel like I don't want to like they're so badass the way they are.
Right.
Like people like imagine it in an albino. I'm like, you'd be taking away some of the stuff for it. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of the beauty of having hets. I do
Hmm.
really like my double het bred lie for that because they
Hmm.
look normal. But
But then they make fun things. Like
they poop out fun. It's like-
oh,
There's so many things that can come out. It's like,
the king rats have been awesome.
okay.
They have just been I mean the problem is with them is like anything you get from an Asian collie and
Mhm.
they do shit a lot and they need big cages. I think mine are only 3 years old and they're already in 4 footers and they're gonna end up in sixes or at some point like that. Like it's
Nice.
Chinese kings are basically like Kribo and false water cobras. You're looking at a big thing right there. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to understand that this isn't a cow king. So, but I love them. They're awesome. I have them feeding the same way I do my Madagascar hogs, and my false water cobra. To get a bowl of food, and they just devour it. I have fed them everything from frog legs, chicken, uh,
Awesome.
I just everything,
That's
anything. Like
awesome.
it's and the fun thing is like I have the rhinos right now and they're eating fish scented pinkies.
Okay.
So I will use a fillet of fish to, or like sometimes it's even a whole like they're whiting fish, so like the head's chopped off and they're
Yeah,
gutted,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah. So I'll do that to get the fish scent, and unfortunately, I only have one baby rhino this year, so I have this whole fish that I'm falling out for this little pinky, and then I just
Just for
chuck,
one.
yeah, then I just chuck the fish in with the king rat and it eats it.
That's awesome.
Um, and what's
Yeah.
fun is I actually am getting ready to start this. Mike Curtin came by
Okay.
last weekend, and he gave me I think like 20 adult river trout.
Nice.
Like we're talking like
Is he a
trout.
fisherman?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're talking trout the size of like a medium to large rat.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, I feed these to my crebo, I feed them to my carpets, I feed them to
Yep.
my boas, and it's like, okay,
Zach does
sweet,
whole trout for fall season
yeah,
as well. It's definitely going to be on the menu for mine.
yeah. My
No
falsies
question.
love fish.
Yeah.
They
Oh
love
yeah.
fish. And
I
I feed them.
tried strips of just store-bought rainbow trout
Mm,
because, mine are not that big yet. They can't take down a whole trout. And
mhm.
I didn't get any interest, but my guess is that'll change when they get older.
They my guys like the tilapia, the hunks of tilapia that I did, but then
Mhm.
also with the whiting, I cut them. But then I also got like thin, I don't forget what they were called, but they were like silver sides, really
Mhm.
small fish.
Minnow type
Not
deals.
even like we're talking like about that big, but the size of
Okay.
a large mouse
Okay,
fish.
cool. Cool,
My
cool.
guys took the like they would eat one of them and then a couple mice and other stuff like that. I
Yeah.
might be feeding my false cobras a little too much. So
Well, I mean, if you listen to Dr. Loafman and like the studies where they like sliced open the stomachs of wild ones, it
mhm.
sounds like you can't really feed them too much. They're
I
always
yeah.
eating in the
Yeah.
wild. That metabolism is just so
Uh,
bang bang.
and then as far as musking goes with the Chinese king rats,
Mm.
eesh, yeah. I mean, you touch it, yeah. But I would say not as bad as a Timor python. Like I can make all these wonderful connections. Like the keel scale on a Chinese king rat is more than say a rough scale. So they
Okay.
are like rougher, but they will not shit as much as a Timor python. So now you
Interesting.
know where everybody sits. Um, but yeah, my side they much rather just bite the hell out of you and make you go away. So mine are
Nice.
I don't really play with mine. Like I handled them a little bit when they were babies, but I tend to just leave them be with all their hides and then put the food in and then take the bowl away. I really only
Mhm.
see them if I come in and turn on the lights when they're eating and they're there with like a frog in its mouth or something like that, and they just kind of stare at me until I go away. Same thing with the mad hogs. Like I'm mostly hands
Uh-huh.
off with a lot of stuff.
For
So
sure. Yeah, well,
yeah.
speaking of that, I'm gonna have an adventurous evening when we're done here because my female false water cobra, which is kind of the twitchier one, she's got a little stuck shed on her face. So
Oh no.
that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see a little eye cap action and it's gonna be an adventure, but
Yeah.
you gotta
I
do what you gotta do.
yeah, I recently my Crebo just had an eye cap and I had to pull it off of her and she actually got a hold of me and
Oh yeah.
collie breed bites are fun when they chew. And it's just like,
Right.
oh, that's wonderful. Fine, just hold on and just peeling her eye cap off as she's just chewing on me. But
Yeah. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. I've got gloves and whatnot, but if I do end up getting munched one of these
mm,
days, I still haven't been bit by a falsie at home or at work. So
avoid
I
that.
don't know. Yeah,
Mm,
I've obviously avoid. I don't
yes.
want to, but I don't know either how I'll react. So I guess I'd call a buddy and be like, come over.
Watch
Now that
me,
I
make
live
sure I don't
alone.
die. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So but
Yes.
no, I did just move my falsies into a new cages because they outgrew where they were.
Sweet.
And I put my twitchier one instead of being like above my head, he's now more of like chest high.
Smart.
So yeah, it's good. It's good. Me
For
and him,
sure.
we're
It's
figuring each other out.
They're such interesting snakes. Like, I don't know, are you noticing like a pretty significant, I guess, personality, for lack of a better word, difference between the two?
Yes.
Because for me, like the difference between my male and my female is like more difference than any other snakes I keep of the same species, if that makes sense. Like they are literally opposite of each other.
I wish I could say that, but like I have some like my water pythons. My female is a psychotic bitch from the depths of hell, and my male is just like leave the rat there. I'll get it when I get
Right.
it. No, like and he just doesn't care. So
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and I know it's only a sample size of 2, and of course,
right.
like we always say, they are
But I will
individuals.
say you're exactly
Um,
correct. My male false water cobra is psychotic. My female totally mellow. I don't even see her. She'd much rather run away from me than
Interesting.
come blaring at the front of the glass.
Yeah, mine is the same but the opposite.
But
Female
now,
crazy.
which one is your yellow
Lothman.
one? Both of mine are
Yeah,
from
the
Lothman.
my high gold from Zach is the girl.
Okay, and that's the crazy one.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
because
she
my
has
high
not.
gold is also the girl.
Okay.
All right,
Okay. Yeah,
but
she
then the high
hasn't tried to
black is
take a
the
shot
male.
at me
All right.
once she's out, but her feeding response is such that if it is nighttime and there is a hint of movement, she slams the glass, just absolutely body slams
That'll
it.
be fun when it's 8 feet long. Like
Yeah,
that'll be good. Let's
100%.
get
But
that going.
to her credit, at least so far, she understands the hook thing and
Mhm.
snaps out of it. But
Yeah,
I do have to be careful, 100%, especially when she's huge. Uh,
they my guys have also been pretty good about the bowl. So like as if I'm putting the bowl in, they don't go for me. They just shove their head in the bowl and grab
nice.
whatever food's there. I will say so Melissa went to the pet store. I'm like, grab me some goldfish for the rhinos, and she came home with like goldfish, like feeder. And I'm like, holy crap!
Big
I
goldfish.
I put them in the water bowls of the false water cobras, and they killed and ate all of them.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit! All right, something else they can eat. Like it.
Yeah.
That's half the time with colubrids. I'm just like, will it eat it? Yes.
Usually, yes.
Check.
Yeah.
So
No, definitely. The frog legs is my favorite so far. But I made the mistake when I froze them. I think
mm,
I've talked about this already, but I froze
mm.
them all in one Ziploc together, so it's
Oh,
just
now it's just a
one
wad of
Yeah,
okay.
it's a snowball of frog
Yeah.
legs. So I don't really know what to do about that. Like I could try to hit it with a hammer and see if it
Your
shatters
best
or
bet is to just let it thaw out and then put them all in individual baggies and
and
then put them all in the
refreeze.
big because if you get
Yeah.
frog legs from like a restaurant thing, they come in individual bags inside the box, all
Right.
frozen.
Right.
So,
Too
um,
slimy. They stick to
right.
each other.
And so my store near me had frog legs.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they were like the smallest little frogs that you have ever seen that they must have had these frog legs pulled from. And I'm like, worthless. But then um oh my god, I'm blanking on his name right now. I want to say Loafman, but it's not him. It's somebody else. God damn it.
Another colubrid person?
Another doctor.
Another Dr.
We
Colubrid
have so
person?
many another god damn it. Oh,
Booth?
no, not Booth.
Wyman?
Travis Wyman. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
God. I'm like,
The
what
other
is
one.
wrong? Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Sorry, Travis.
There's 4 doctors,
Several
right?
doctors. We have a whole team of doctors.
Justin
None
Warren,
of them will be able
Travis,
to
and
help
Zach.
me if I'm horribly injured. But
Is there another doctor?
well,
Anyway.
Ben and
Oh yeah.
several.
Yeah. You're right.
Um.
You're right.
Anyway, he's like, hey, dude, I'm up at this store that I go to, and they have gigantic frog legs. And he's like, they have them like they're this much for a pack. Do you want any? I'm like, yeah. So he wants one of my Cali Kings. I'm like, listen, you get me this many frog legs, you can have this Cali King. And we're like, deal. But now we keep trying to figure out when we can make this swap.
Right.
And it keeps not working because he's like 3 hours away and is sometime down here for work. And now it looks like we could possibly do this weekend, but I'm running around like a madman tomorrow to get ready for Arizona. So it's like we keep missing each other, but I have a ton of frog legs coming, which is weird.
Frog
because
legs is probably a challenge to ship if you don't have access to dry ice.
Crap.
Yeah.
But it's weird because the majority of my freezer right now is not rodent because we're going into winter. So I've like fed off my rodents and stuff like that.
I see. Okay.
But right now I have a shit ton of ain't nothing here going to be eating that trout till springtime because like all my big guys are going down. So
yeah, for sure. That's a good one by Mike. I'm supposed to be headed to the High Sierras again next weekend with my dad. to do
Mhm.
some fishing, and that might not be a bad idea for me to keep
It's
a couple trout.
just make sure they're the legal size. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think. Well, anyway, yes, yes, yes,
but yeah,
yes.
he
For
just
rainbows, I think you can keep any of them where we're
right,
going, but definitely always check your regulations for sure.
right. But that's something that he has. So like he gave me a ton of trout, and that's extra stuff he had. And he sent me videos of his. He has yellowtail crebo, which
Nice.
if I could redo my selection of crebo, I would have done yellowtails. Like it is, I like the way they look better than everything else. And he and I were actually talking about. He's like, "You want a blacktail?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "I already got the unicolors. Blacktails are like, oh my god, it's a different color some of the ways down, but like
Right.
it's yeah, no, like if anything, I'd do yellowtails.
Interesting.
Um, yeah,
I think we talked about this a little
we
bit.
did several
Yeah, the
times. Yeah,
yellowtails are man, I've
I like them.
maybe if I saw them in person it'd be different.
Well,
But
it's also like it's a darker colored thing. Like I dig my unicolors because it does look like a cobra that somebody forgot to complete cobra. But I
yeah,
dig the color of the yellowtails.
well, right on.
So
I mean, you could do it. You could do it,
mhm.
man. But
No, I
that
can't.
would
No, I cannot. We have no space.
that would go
None.
against the
No
plan
space.
of selling everything and only having
Rough
roughies
scales.
and being a roughy
No,
empire.
not rough scale. Coastals and rough scales. You gotta
Eh,
coastal.
I
Coastals and
feel
rough
like I've
scales.
heard you say sell all my carpets for rough scales.
Yes, I have.
Carpets are
Can't do it.
coastals.
Can't do it. Coastals are
Coastals are
carpets.
carpets.
Carpets are coastals. Carpets are coastals and coastals are carpets. Yes, you're correct.
But our
Yeah.
coastals jungles.
No, not yet. Not yet. But no, it's I had to I cleared open a bunch. I did open up a bunch of cages and a couple of things. I did get Riley's Mad Hogs here.
Mhm.
And they just broke quarantine, so they're downstairs now.
Nice.
And I have all three of them together because that's how he was keeping them. So
Right.
I might get eggs from them. Plus, I have my pair. Plus, I've been kind of rearranging and doing some stuff. So one of the Mad Hogs he sent me was his offspring from when he bred them.
Cool.
So she is related to two of the other Mad Hogs. So I'm going to put her with my male that's unrelated when she gets big
Okay.
enough. And
Okay.
then I'm going to swap the female. So right now, this boy has two girls, and my male has one female, but they're
Right.
related.
Got it.
So what I'd like to do is swap girls in a year or so, and then
Nice.
have completely unrelated Mad Hogs breeding to each other and stuff like that.
Very
So
cool.
yes,
That's awesome. Might as well take advantage of
yeah, and
the
then
different genetics that you have.
set up two trios, and then I think we're good.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited. Because last year you got eggs, no?
I got babies. I got eggs, babies,
You got
and
babies.
I
Okay.
got babies. I got
Right.
6 kids. I had 7
Awesome.
eggs and 6 babies, and
How are they doing?
uh, there was 2 of them came out like lightning, just eating everything in sight,
Cool.
and they were the first 2 gone.
Nice.
One went to a guy that I was desperate for like geckos and stuff like that to try to get the other ones eating,
Right.
and Riley linked me up with him, and we kind of did like a trade where he's like, I really want a Mad Hog. I'm like, well, I have this one that's eating. Give me $20 worth of geckos, and then I'll take $20 off the price, and we'll just, and then we did
There you
that.
go.
So
Yeah.
she left, and then somebody else who was contacting me forever for one, who was semi-local, and I've sold some stuff to him in the past. He wanted one, so that was the other girl. So the
Very
last
cool.
3 that I have are the ones that I've been kind of fighting with,
Trouble feeder so
I have
far.
them down. So
Okay.
one is eating live and frozen thawed day old button quail.
Nice.
And thank God my buddy nearby breeds button quail like they're like no tomorrow. They apparently he has babies hatching every 17 days. And I'm like, fucking perfect.
Wow.
I will
Dialed in.
take 5 out of each one. Like
Yeah.
it is
I might need to get this contact.
they're the size of a carpenter bee. And they are
Wow.
perfect. Like I had a tiger carpet this year that was not eating anything. He started on those. And it's just it's another bullet for the gun,
Yep.
So
Absolutely. Put it on the
it's
toolbox.
fantastic.
Yep.
So the one baby's eating those, and it actually took one frozen thawed today. The
Cool.
other 2 are eating fuzzies wrapped in gecko skin. So
Okay.
Chris Salemi, because I also got those geckos, and the Mad Hogs didn't really want to eat them. They did rip off a couple tails and kind of eat those, but nothing really crazy. I think they were moving too quick.
Mhm.
Um, but I did get some other geckos and lizards to thaw pinkies and fuzzies with. They didn't really go for that. So Chris Salemi sent me a bunch of knobtail gecko skin because knobbies will shed the skin and leave it. So you take the fuzzy and you wrap it with the knobby skin and you just leave it in there, and the Mad Hog eats it. So
Interesting.
it
Okay.
it's something. So you
Yeah.
get them past this fragile point where they're so young and small, and then you know what? Muck with them when they get a little bit bigger.
Mhm.
Start offering them something that's thawed in this or thawed in that, and then eventually they'll get it and they'll start rolling.
I have one for you.
Yeah.
I still have just a couple, maybe 3 red lie that still haven't eaten.
Yes.
What would be your first line of defense past just the obvious, live, but
If live doesn't work, immediately go to birds.
okay.
Because I mean, I had olive pythons that just like you show them a mouse and they're like, no. And then you dangle a quail in front of them and it's like they've gone insane. They're ripping their head around, they're just biting onto the thing and it's down their
Yeah.
throat. And the good thing about that is that olives can take bigger size quail because a lot of places when you buy baby quail, it's not
They're not tiny.
it's not baby quail. It's quail this big. It's a quail the size of a
That's what I'm
small medium
thinking.
mouse.
I think
Yeah.
the smallest quail I have in my freezer, the head would still be pushing it for one of these little
And
things.
you can try offering the heads.
Right.
You have a bunch of other things that will not give a damn if the head is missing.
Oh yeah.
I had carpets start on chick heads, and I would just take the chick without its head and throw it to a cow king. They don't give a damn.
Exactly. My
Yeah.
version of the Cow Kings is the blackheads and Womas will
Yeah.
take bird any
Bird
day.
any day. I have fed the womas that I sent to you. I have
Yeah.
fed them both quail, chicks, and chicken
Nice.
legs
I
and
think I
wings.
gave the boy a quail last week, actually.
He'd eat it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're terrifying, by the way.
Good. I warned
Matilda's
you.
scary.
I warned you. So
I,
they shave years off your life every time you open those cages.
yeah, I kept the names. I don't know. Matilda gives me what's the story there? Is there
There's no story.
okay? Because it
I
gives
send
me
pictures. I send
horror
pictures
movie
of,
child vibes.
Good. I sent
It's like
pictures.
Matilda's coming to get you.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure Melissa was going for like I don't know Australian kind of deal, but I send pictures of the snakes to Melissa. She names it, and then we go from there.
Got it. Yeah.
Because I ran out of names years ago.
Oh, I'm in the same boat. I usually outsource to friends as well, which is why I have things like Carl Weezer and Jimmy's mom for the jungles.
That's unfortunate. That is terribly. God only help you if you make it like some sort of morph, and we all have to learn it. This is Jimmy's mom's line. I see. Like
Jimmy's mom.
Fuck. Like yeah.
That's a reference for everybody that's young, I guess. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway.
What the heck was I talking about? Oh yeah, your Woma. Your Woma's scary.
Yep.
Yeah. The water. I use the little plastic containers, so that I can just kind of change it, recycle it, no scrubbing, yada yada. For her, there's like 3 empty ones and 1 full one in there because I can't reach in and get the empty ones. I just keep putting in a new full one.
She's gonna eventually live amongst all these bins.
It's like a graveyard. Yeah.
I will tell you right now, when you know she's gravid is when she stops trying to kill you.
Okay.
So if you open the door and she kind of like slides out and lays on you, you're like, okay, okay, like, we're all right.
Yeah.
That's when you know she's gravid.
Fingers crossed. I'm going to try to get a couple more meals in her here, before we get into some sort of cooling. How low did you drop them? Do you go down to just carpet temps?
I went to carpet temps. I wanted to drop them lower,
okay,
but I never did. The male's got that weird kind of nose.
Right.
And I always was worried about like, how's he going to handle this and stuff like that. So I don't know.
For sure. Yeah. So, well, I mean, maybe I try to give him a little bit of an extra chill just to see if that's the cause of the infertility. Who knows?
It's either the infertility is either caused by they're not getting cold enough,
right,
or it's him,
or he's just
at
broken.
this point. It's him.
Yeah.
This
Well,
movie's just a broken, worthless creature.
this year will just kind of be me running it back and doing exactly what you've done time after time. And
If you do exactly what I've done, like we're talking exactly what I've done, and you get fully fertile eggs that hatch into little Woma babies, I might be a little pissed off.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. Which that would be unlikely but hilarious. But what I was
yeah.
gonna say is next year,
Mm.
and then each year after that, I'll be able to try different things that we can actually learn more. Because
Would you really want to tweak it that much though, year after year? Because what if it
well,
doesn't work?
I don't mean so much in terms of breeding conditioning, but I mean like I will have other animals that are old enough to do test breedings to see
Right.
who's the problem.
Right.
Because I
right.
can put your boy with a different female and see if it's truly
If
his
they
sperm.
produce it, but that's the other problem is that you're going to do that, split them up, and then you're going to get 2 clutches of Womas.
I hope so.
And then, well, I mean, I do too, but also, what the fuck? Like, it is
Yeah. Well, you know, some of
clearly,
it.
and then at that
No,
point, your
that would
thesis
be
is
best for you if I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
2 clutches with your animals, because then
Yeah.
you get half of 2 clutches.
But then the problem that comes in is I'm opening up these Womas and I have this wonderful, like, fucking god damn it. Like, it's it
Fucking
is
intern
it's
did
a
this.
piece of shit intern did this with his eyes closed. Like, it's one of those things where your thesis comes out and be like, and in conclusion, what was wrong with these pair of Womas was Owen. Like, it is like that was the
Yeah.
issue. And once we remove that from it, fucking worked great.
I mean,
So,
that's hilarious. But if I do exactly nothing and it actually works, there's so many things that could be true that have nothing to do with you. Maybe they like the weather on this coast better, or maybe the Pennsylvania thing wasn't agreeable, or a plane ride was something.
Yeah, just the plane rider moving over was something. So who knows?
We'll see. I'll probably get nothing, but I'll let you know.
We'll see how it goes, because that's the other thing, is getting the Woma eggs is half the battle, and then hatching the Woma eggs
Right.
is the second half.
Right,
so
right. I'm gonna emulate what I've learned from Grant and Riley, you know, commuting to that shop and seeing those Woma eggs go through term successfully. I'm just gonna try to do exactly what they did because it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we are at that hour.
Yeah,
mark.
you gotta go check on Eric.
I gotta
make
go
sure he's
check on
still
it.
breathing.
The idea was that I was going to do an hour, and then Riley was going to come in, and you interns were going to do an hour. But he
Did
unfortunately
he
can't make it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
right on. Well, yeah.
Yep. So what we'll do is we'll cut off Carpets and Coffee a little bit early this time for everybody. But we will, you guys will, because I'll be in Arizona. See everybody back here next week. You guys are going to do, I guess, the normal thing for that. If Eric's not dead, if Eric's dead, this is the end of NPR, and we'll never recover.
Bring him some what's it called? Vicks. That's what he needs. He needs some vapor rub.
He need no.
Smear that on for him.
No. No. All right. So we'll catch everybody out. If you're going to Tinley, be safe, have fun. And say hello to the carpet people and Carpet Row if it's still a thing, or at least Howard Redding. And then we'll catch everybody back here next time. And you guys are doing stuff without me. And
Yep. And you have a great trip. You have a safe travel.
Yep. There will be pictures and video and everything. If I fall down, if I fall down while wearing the GoPro, we're gonna keep that in the video.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting some tomfoolery, because it's you and a camera. So
I'm insulted. So,
no.
of course not. No,
and then again, I'm selling stuff. So if you want snakes, talk to me. Might even do an adult pair of proven Brettles. So
yeah, don't email me. I'll be in the middle of nowhere. Please don't if you email me and then get mad, it's not gonna go well. So
okay, all right, there we go. Thanks Ellen.
Everybody. We'll see you
later.